Yeah, what's up, YouTubers? Red Crimson Gaming here, Red Crimson 102. We're gonna get right into it, man. I know everybody have seen the Xbox business update about what Phil Spencer said he's gonna do with the Xbox company, and everybody was watching. Whole world was watching just to hear what Phil Spencer was gonna say about Xbox going third party. And I've seen so many videos on this. You know, people were clowning Xbox, saying they're gonna go third party. Gears of War, Halo's gonna go to PlayStation and Nintendo future systems and present system. And everybody was just tuned in to see what was going on. And I've watched people make countless videos stating their opinion on the Xbox business update after the fact, what Phil Spencer said he was going to do going forward with the Xbox brand. And it seems like everybody's just piggybacking off of what everybody else is saying or have said in their own videos, but they're missing the bigger picture. And that's why I watched several videos on people's opinions, several channels about. I wanted to see these guys' opinions on how they feel about what Phil Spencer said about going forward with the Xbox brand and not going third party. Now, Phil came out and said that they're not going third party. And they have put like several smaller titles that nobody really care about, no high profile titles on other platforms, PlayStation, PC, and the Nintendo Switch. And I've been saying this for a long time, guys. Microsoft is just damage controlling. They're playing the damage control game. They're trying to paint the industry in their own narrative, so they're trying to push their own personal agenda, their own personal narrative on where they think gaming should be. But really, they're damage controlling, because now they're saying for quite some time they've been saying that exclusive games doesn't matter. Phil Spencer is an idiot. A console, any platform, lives and dies by exclusives. And I'm pretty sure Phil Spencer knows that, but he didn't have anything better else to say, and that's why he just came out and he just said something stupid. If you don't have anything positive to say or smart to say, do not say anything at all. Microsoft is just playing this third-party game because they're trying to Microsoft is trying everything in their power to try and get everything in their favor. Their console sales are terrible ever since they moved away from the 360. They came out with two terrible consoles in the same year, the Xbox Series S and Xbox Series X. Those names are retarded, by the way. And they came out with a platform that has no physical disk drive. That is so crazy to me. And then you have to be connected online to play their systems. And every time you cut the system off, you cut it back on, there's always an update waiting for you before you can even play the damn system. And that deters me and anybody else from even turning on an Xbox and playing it. You're always waiting on an update whenever you turn their system. So I can't just turn the system on in peace and play whatever game I want to play from a library without being bombarded every single time on a boot up for an update. And that's the DRM update. Microsoft is really the cancer of gaming, honestly. And it's terrible. They're buying up all these studios just to put the squeeze on Nintendo and especially PlayStation. Because if Microsoft buys up all the studios, then PlayStation won't have any third-party legs to stand on. That's what they're doing. They're playing the damage control. They know that exclusives are important. If they really wanted to go third-party, they would have went third-party a long time ago. You understand what I'm saying? So Microsoft is just pulling straws and they're just talking. I think Microsoft and Phil Spencer just love to hear themselves talk. So they saw all the negative backlash that we're getting from when that it's a possibility that they may go third party. They saw the backlash, and they quickly came together and they came out with a meeting, which was the Xbox, business update, to calm fans down and the whole world. Say, hey, you know what? We're not going third party. Just be easy. Halo and Gears, they're still going to be exclusive to our platform. You understand what I'm saying? And that's one of the major reasons why. Excuse me, God. What's one of the major reasons why they didn't go third party? Because of the negative backlash. That's pretty much admitting defeat, and they know that. And they keep on Microsoft, guys. Microsoft is all over the place. They do not know what to do. That's all it is. They're trying everything. They came out with Game Pass. They're trying to save Xbox. That didn't work. People didn't subscribe to it. The subscriptions are low. They came out with, the most powerful console with Xbox One X. That didn't sell. Now it's the world's most powerful console again, which was the Series X. And that's not selling. The Series X and the Series S together, I believe, is at 21 million. I heard it was 27 now, but it's between 21 and 27 million in 4 years. That's crazy, man. Nobody believes in Xbox, man. They're all over the place. They said now then they want to say that they want to go digital. Digital is the future. Right? They've told Nintendo, don't realize they shouldn't be on console. So they want to do away with the console only because they're not doing good in the console space. Then digital is the future. But then in the business update, you said that you're gonna come out with more consoles, and now you're coming out with a handheld. So I don't get it. I don't understand. Like, Microsoft are the biggest hypocrites, and they're just damage controlling only because they know they're losing. They're trying everything to win. Now, right now, their last straw is a handheld system. We seen a Legion Go and a ROG Ally, dope systems, by the way, dope handhelds, PC handhelds, whatever you want to call them, dope. They're dope. I love them. I love them, man, especially the Legion Go. First it was a ROG, then it was a Legion Go. Great systems, but they're all running Windows. And Windows and consoles don't mix. I think Windows should stay on the PC, and when you come to the consoles or the handhelds, you have to play on a console level and you have to play on a handheld level. A handheld shouldn't have an hour to an hour and a half battery life. That's terrible. A handheld, you should be able to just boot the system up, play the game with no issues. You shouldn't have to do a workaround. And there's a lot of idiots out there that always want to be the scapegoat, saying that, well, it's a PC. I don't want to hear it. That's just a scapegoat. And the ROG Ally, the Legion Go, Steam Deck, and all those other PC handhelds out there, A&E included, all of them, as a matter of fact, all of them flopped. Only flopped. The Steam Deck only sold 1.6 million, and to be generous, maybe 3.7 million. That's a flop. So if everybody could clown Nintendo that a Wii U sold 13 million, and that's a flop, how does 3.6 million or 1.6 million a success? How's the Steam Deck a success when it only sold 1.6 million? And the Wii U is a failure because it sold 13 million. Make that make sense to me. But Microsoft is just damage controlling. If they wanted to go third party, they would have went third party long time ago. The business update should have been like, all these games are going to be on other platforms. We're going to be just like Sega. We're a software company now. And that's that. So Microsoft are the biggest hypocrites. They're just playing this damage control game until they get their way. Now, they're setting a trap for Sony. And it's working. Sony's putting their games on PC. Once you put your game on PC, you pretty much depreciating the value of your console. And that's why Nintendo is smart. Nintendo is not putting their IPs on any other systems, because once you do that, what would be the point of buying a Nintendo system? If I can play God of War and all these PlayStation heavy hitters on PC or any other platform, what would be the point of buying a PlayStation? Now, the PS5 is just doing good right now because of brand recognition, brand name. They held it down for 5 generations now. So of course people are always going to support Sony, but Sony could fall just as fast as Microsoft. We see what's going on with Microsoft putting their games on other platforms. Now it's pointless to even buy an Xbox where I can play my games on PC, my cell phone, and even a Nintendo Switch. That's why every console is doing good but Xbox, because they're whoring out their franchises to other companies, which gives people the less incentive to buy their platform. And I just don't understand why Microsoft don't see that, but I think they do see that. But it's kind of like they dug a deep hole right now, and it's just too late for them to try and turn back. So they have to stick to their word. But they're actually just making a fool of themselves right now. The Xbox brand been a down brand since OG Xbox One. 360 was their last best system. So whatever they did that made the 360 a success back in 2005 all the way till 2013, that's what they need to do going forward with the Xbox platform. When you're on, I understand Microsoft just has the wrong vision. And that's just all it is. Now, I've seen a lot of channels do videos on this, and they never talk about what I'm talking about. And I've heard and I've listened, and a lot of things that some people say on their channel, no disrespect, doesn't even make any sense whatsoever, man. It really doesn't. Digital is not the future. Getting rid of hardware is not the future. Getting rid of physical media is not the future. I understand it's at different times and all that. I get that. But if that's the case, then why have we gotten a full-blown generation where with no disc drive? It's always it's always the physical disc console right next to the digital console, just in case. And if you look at the numbers, the physical console with a disc always sells more. You understand what I'm saying? These companies are just pushing a narrative that digital is better only because it's benefiting them. It's not benefiting us. And you have these new generation kids that's coming up, the younger generation. They don't know the difference. They don't really care. They just want to play the game. And those are the ones that's actually going out and buying those digital games, supporting those digital games for the most part. They don't care about video game preservation or if their favorite game comes with a manual or doesn't come with a disc. They don't care about that because they're born into the digital age already. So corporations are taking they're excuse me guys, let me just gather my thoughts. They're taking advantage pretty much of the newer generation that does not know better, and then point to the charts like, see, I told you digital is better. Look, digital's on the rise. Of course it's on the rise because you're selling to kids, a younger generation that's born in the digital age that don't know any better. But once we fully go to the digital age and we can't own anything anymore, the servers shut down here and there like they have been doing, and people start going crazy, running around like a chicken with his head cut off, saying, "Oh, I paid all this money for the subscription and now I can't play it." You understand what I'm saying? People never know. You never know what you have until you lose it. So once you get to that digital age where there's only one place to buy your games, and they have control over the prices, they have control over the games that we play. They can pull up games anytime due to licenses or companies shutting down. Everybody's going to start crying. I'm holding on to my physical games. Now, Microsoft, what I'm saying is, guys, I don't want to rant too long, but all Microsoft is doing, they're playing a losing game. They're playing a long game for sure. They have the wrong vision about video games. Right now, they're pulling straws. They've been pulling straws actually for a very long time now. Microsoft is just trying any and everything, making excuses until they hit their mark and say, okay, well, we're doing good right now. We finally got Sony. They bind up all these studios to put Sony in a corner where Sony have to come to them. And once Sony put their games on a PC, Microsoft wins. And guess what? That's when Microsoft is going to come back out with a system, and they're going to have control. They're going to have all those games on their platform. And if you think about it, if you have a system, if Microsoft has a console where they have their own exclusive games, example, Gears, Halo, and whatever else, and they also have PlayStation games on the Xbox system, that's a wrap for PlayStation, because now the tables are going to turn and people are going to look at the situation like, oh, wow, PlayStation games on Xbox now, and the graphics is good, and it's the most powerful system. There's no need for me to get a PlayStation 6. I might as well go ahead and just get the Xbox, because I can play Xbox games and PC games on the Xbox platform, so I don't need a PlayStation anymore. So the tables will turn, And the situation that Xbox is in right now, console-wise and business-wise, Sony will be in once Microsoft fully has all of PlayStation games. And they really don't have to have all their games, but most of the heavy hitters. You've seen the recent video of Phil Spencer getting upset that why isn't Helldivers on the Xbox platform, but you don't see nobody was complaining when Starfield didn't make it to the PlayStation and Power didn't make it to PlayStation. See, Xbox knows what they're doing. They're just playing a game right now. They're trying to make it seem like they want to go third party, but they don't want to go third party. They're just trying to trick Sony into, hey, you know what, PC is where it's going. You might as well put your game on the PC, preserve your games, put on the PC. And once they get all the PlayStation games, they come back out with a system, say, hey, you know what, we got PlayStation games on our platform. You don't even need to buy a PlayStation anymore. That's all they're doing. They're playing a long game. Sony is weak right now. Sony hasn't been the same since Ken left. Jim Ryan, he messed PlayStation up. And if you look at Sony, they're following in every footsteps that Microsoft is doing right now. So Microsoft is slowly leaving that little breadcrumb trail for Sony to follow and get them in that snare trap, get them in that bear trap where they can't get out of it. Because remember, Microsoft has more money than Sony, so they can afford to play the long game. They can afford to just, make stupid decisions, keep on making consoles even if they don't sell. PlayStation can't do that. Nintendo can't do that. So Sony and Nintendo has to stick to their guns. Sony needs to stick to their guns. I wouldn't put my games on PlayStation. If I was Sony, they shouldn't put their games on PC at all. They keep on saying that PC is a different platform from consoles, and that's yes or no. But there's a thin line between console and PC because they all have the same games for the most part. The only difference with PC is you got mouse and keyboard, well, you can use a controller now. You see how that works? And now they're mimicking a console. The thin line is between console and PC. PC, you have more options spec-wise and whatnot. Higher frame rates and whatnot. That's about it. But in the real world, nobody cares about none of that stuff. So that's my take on this whole situation, guys. I just want to get it off my chest because I'm seeing all these channels out here reporting on the business update, expecting Microsoft to go third party, wanting them to go third party, but got disappointed. Phil Spencer just changed his mind at the last minute. He saw the backlash, the negative backlash that we're getting, and he knows exclusives is what makes a console. He's just making an excuse right now. He's just being a scapegoat right now because he doesn't have any good exclusive. But I'll just end the stream by saying this. Microsoft, if you're listening, this is what I want to say. In order for Microsoft to actually be relevant again, liked again, loved again, be seen as competition again, all they have to do is change their vision. A console is not a PC. A console is just a console. Keep the physical discs. Give me back the manuals. Allow me to play my systems offline whenever. Get rid of that DRM nonsense and just make games, make exclusive games. Instead of trying to buy up all these companies, just use your money, open up new studios to make games. That's it. And be passionate about the games that you make. Sony and Nintendo especially, are passionate about the games that they create. That's why when they come out, they're so fun and long-lasting. Evergreen titles you can always go back to and play. My grandkids will be able to play the old Nintendo games. And every platform I see out there, whether it be a PC handle or Xbox, there's always somebody playing an old Nintendo game on there or an old Super Nintendo game. That just goes to show you how great Nintendo is. But that's all Microsoft has to do, is just make a console that allows me to play my games offline. There shouldn't be no fake option of play offline or online. That option really doesn't really matter because there's still DRM attached to it in the background. No DRM. Allow me to play my games offline. Give me the option to update my system if I want to or not. And I think they should do away with updates. That's what really kills me, man. And just make games. Just make games, Microsoft. That's all you have to do. Quit trying to buy everybody up and just make exclusive games. That's it. You did good with the original Xbox. You did good with the 360. Now, where Xbox One messed up was a whole DRM thing. And they had no games to play because every game that's on Xbox I can play on other platforms. So what's the incentive of getting an Xbox? Give me a reason to buy an Xbox. Making a more powerful console is not going to make people gravitate towards your platform anymore. The days of who had the biggest dick, the best graphics are gone. That was my generation with the Sega Genesis, Super Nintendo, N64, and PlayStation. That's when graphics mattered. Graphics doesn't really matter anymore because if you look back at history, the most powerful console never really won a generation. You understand what I'm saying? Because even the Switch smashed the PS4, and they smashing the Xbox Series X and the PS5 right now. Whether people want to admit that or not, but that's the actual facts. Graphics doesn't matter anymore. I look at what my daughter is playing on her tablet, and she's playing Roblox and all these other mobile games. She don't care about the graphics. I look at what my son is playing. He's playing games that doesn't have great graphics. It's just all about fun. The graphics doesn't matter anymore. And all these high graphics AAA games are taking 6-7 years to make with big budgets and not selling. Just make fun games. The days of who has the best graphics are over with. If you look at what Nintendo doing, Nintendo is winning because they got off that graphics train a long time ago. A long time ago. After the GameCube, they came out with a Super NES, powerful system. Only sold, I believe, 30-something. I forgot how much the Super Nintendo sold. 49 million or something like that. Then they came out with a 64. They system sales were declining. The 64 is more powerful than the PS1. That only sold 32 million compared to PS1 101 million. Then they tried again. They said, let's try it one more time. They came out with a powerful GameCube, which was a better system than the PS2. It was more powerful than the PS2. And what happened? It only sold 21 million. It didn't do good. So Nintendo said they see the writing on the wall. They said, yo, making powerful consoles is not doing anything for us but putting us in a hole. Because you have to understand, Nintendo had to do something different to make people gravitate towards their system. And they figured it out. They figured it out with the Wii U. And that's what they're doing with the Nintendo Switch right now. And they're winning. So now Microsoft is looking at that situation like, oh, because Nintendo really shook the generation up with the Nintendo Switch. Not everybody's chasing the Switch dream. Valve even came out with a Steam Deck. Asus came out with their own Switch, which is a ROG Ally. Lenovo came out with their own Switch, which was a Lenovo Legion Go. Everybody is chasing the Switch dream. And with all the flack and all the hate Nintendo has been getting, the excuses, the scapegoat, oh, it's a tablet for kids. Oh, the graphics is bad on there. It sold 140 million. If the Switch was so bad, why is everybody trying to replicate its success? People love to damage control so much because their favorite piece of plastic isn't doing good. Instead of giving Nintendo their flowers, say, hey, you know what? The industry actually needs Nintendo because of their ingenuity and their creativity and their fun games. They don't do what Microsoft and PlayStation do. They don't focus on graphics. That's a problem with PlayStation and Xbox. They worry about graphics too much and there is no games to even take advantage of the system. I mean, it's funny how time flies. The Series X and the PS5 been out for 4 years already. And the console life cycle is usually like 5, 6. You know, Sony actually, Sony stretched the generation out a lot longer to like 8 years, and then Microsoft followed suit. But when Nintendo was making consoles, it was 5 years. But that has been expanded to 8 because of Sony and Microsoft following suit. So the current consoles, the current gen consoles, been out for 4 years and they haven't produced anything. I haven't seen any game that took advantage of these so-called powerful consoles. When I look at the Xbox Series X, it's no different from the Series S, the Xbox One, the Xbox One S. They're all the same controller, the same dashboard. Everything is the same. There's nothing new under the sun. Playing the Xbox Series X, I feel like I'm still playing the the first Xbox One. It doesn't make any sense to me, but every time I play a Nintendo console, it feels different. It's a different controller. It has a different feel to it. Sony is in between, but they do better than Microsoft. At least when I got the PS5, I kind of felt like it was a new system, but it wasn't too different from what they provided with the PS4. But they still did a way better job than the Xbox Series consoles. So now Microsoft tried everything and it failed. So the only last straw now is the handheld market. Now they say they want to jump into the handheld market, aka the Switch market, right? So they see the Switch thriving. Everybody see the Switch thriving, so they think making a more powerful Switch is where it's at. Now everybody is saying, oh, we're in the age of handhelds. There is no such thing as age of handhelds because Nintendo been making handhelds since the 80s. What are people talking about? Handhelds, they're acting like handhelds are a new thing. Handhelds been around since the 80s. Nintendo been holding it down. And they crushed everybody. The PSP, the PS Vita, nobody could stop them when it comes to their handheld. And that's why the Switch is outselling. It's outselling these so-called wannabe Switches, dubbed PC handhelds. That's just, that name itself, PC handheld, is a scapegoat. It's just a Switch with more power underneath the hood. The Switch the Switch is a PC handheld. The only difference between a Switch and a ROG Ally, a Legion Go, and a Neo is it's locked down. Nintendo locked it down. But if you exploit the Nintendo Switch, that Tegra X1 chip is actually capable of outputting 4K, especially outputting 4K streaming, whatever you want to call it. But if you unlock that Tegra X1 chip, it actually could give the Switch more life. It has more power. That Tegra X1 is not as bad as people think it is. People just hear one person on YouTube said the Switch is weak, the Tegra X1 is outdated, it's a weak chip, and they run with it. But have you seen the videos where people have exploited the Switch and they put the Android system on there that has running GTA 5 at 60 FPS, and all the games that was on Nintendo Switch were all running at 60 FPS because they unlocked the chip. Nintendo just has that chip locked down. But if it was supposed to unlock that chip, right now it'll give the Switch more life. All the games could be in 60 FPS smooth frame rate, but the battery life was significantly dropped. Nintendo just capped that chip to what they wanted to do and output. That's all it is. But people love to move the goalposts. The Switch is trash, the Switch is whack, but everybody's trying to chase that Switch dream by making their own powerful Switch. And that's why Nintendo will forever reign. You can't copy Nintendo because Nintendo is in their own lane. They do their own thing. And lastly, I want to say, if and when Microsoft come out with that handheld, it's going to be dead on arrival, just like every other PC handheld out there. Copying Nintendo Switch will not net them any success. Even if it's good, even if it's somewhat decent, it's not going to win it over because they have no games. And once Nintendo come out with a Switch 2 that's powerful enough to run every game with 60 FPS and Call of Duty, it's going to be a wrap anyway because Nintendo name is too strong, their IPs are too strong. So Microsoft is wasting their time. The Windows, all these PC handhelds out there running Windows 11 on there, and they're not doing good. So what makes Microsoft think coming out with their own Windows handheld with just their branding on it is going to do wonders for them? It's not going to do anything. But I just want to see, once their handheld failed, what they're going to do next. At the end of the day, they're just going to have to put their games on other platforms. Microsoft is desperate right now. They're pulling for straws. They're doing everything they can under the sun to try and win. They're doing everything under the sun except for doing the right thing, which is just getting rid of DRM, keeping physical media, and just making exclusive games like they did on the 360 and the OG Xbox. That's all I want to say, guys. That was my take on the Xbox business update, And, no disrespect to the Xbox fans out there, man. But I just got to keep it real. And that's why I have my platform. That's why I have my own channel, because I want to keep it real. I'm not like everybody else that hear what somebody else say and then they run with it. I like to keep it real. Even if, people dislike it, and even if it costs me not to have subs. I'm not selling my soul for subs or for people to like me. I'm a true hardcore gamer. This is my passion. I've been doing this since the 80s, 90s, man. And I was born in an era where I seen when video games was at its height, when video games were at its best, and now I'm seeing the decline in video games right now. Video games are just popular, but if you ask a lot of people, I think video games are too mainstream right now, and a lot of people that play consoles, they all play the same games. You ask them what game they're playing, they're gonna tell you either Fortnite, Call of Duty, Rainbow Six, whatever, right? But those games only hold your interest for a short amount of time. Those games aren't games you can go back to 2-3 years later and play even 5-10 years later. The adventure games, those offline single player games with great storylines and gameplay, are games you could always go back to for years. That's why people go back and play Nintendo games. I see people sending me stupid comments and try to go back and forth with me and how much better the Steam Deck is over the Nintendo Switch or the ROG Ally, and it's oh well, I can play Switch games on Yuzu on my preferred PC handheld, and that's and these people not even knowing what they're saying. So you bought a $700 $700 to $800 PC handheld just to play Nintendo games? You already lost the conversation. You lost the argument already. You bought a $1,000 platform just to play a Nintendo game. That's crazy to me. At least show me an exclusive game for the ROG Ally or the Steam Deck that's not on the Nintendo Switch. A game that's worth it. Does a PC have first party titles like Nintendo? I mean, come on. When you get a Nintendo system, everybody knows why they're buying a Nintendo system. Nobody buys a Nintendo system to play Madden, 2K, none of that garbage. People buy Nintendo systems to play Nintendo games. People buy PlayStation to play PlayStation games. Xbox, I don't know what they buy Xbox to play, because nobody buys Xbox anyway, so whatever. So I just got to keep it real with you guys. That's my take on it, on Microsoft Xbox business deal. Phil Spencer, he's a hypocrite. He's full of it. The Xbox team is full of it. Fuck him. I hate Xbox. They're a trash company. And they lie, and they're big hypocrites trying to buy the competition out. That's what losers do, man. Try to buy the competition out. I hate Xbox, man. They need to bring back all those people that made Xbox great from the 360 era. But I know all those guys that was passionate about gaming left. Microsoft messed up when they tried to turn a console PC-like. Keep the console in its own space and keep PC in its own space. Nintendo for life. PlayStation for life. Physical media for life. Phil Spencer, Xbox, fuck all of y'all. Red Crimson signing out. Like and subscribe. I don't give a fuck if you do or you don't anyway.